Every director, even all the GOATs, have made at least one crappy movie. But I think Quentin Tarantino is the only one where even his worst movies are still great. So obviously I have to rank every Quentin Tarantino movie from worst to best. First, we got Death Proof. This movie follows two sets of gorgeous women, which both squads are absolutely stacked, and both are stalked by Kurt Russell's character, Stuntman Mike, who uses his death-proof car to try to murder them. Seems straightforward enough, but I do think the first set of girls' stories is the most interesting. It's got Stuntman Mike eating the most satisfying bowl of nachos in cinematic history, which leads him somehow to rizzing up the stacked first set of girls to giving him a lap dance. And then finally, of course, the rest of the movie is gonna be a complete letdown after the insane car crash sequence. After that, the rest of the movie is just the second set of girls finding a way to kill Mike, and it just wasn't as interesting. But as you just saw in the car crash clip, Quentin Tarantino never fails to surprise us with how many feet he can sneak into his damn movies. So obviously it's only the ChazClipz way to start a Tarantino feet counter from here on out. So of course, here are the feet counter rules. Every on-screen foot that is clearly showing equals 1 foot point. Second, it only counts as 1 foot point for each scene the foot is in, unless the angle gets even more specifically freaky. And finally, it has to be female and barefoot. Trust me, you'd be surprised with how many feet shots with shoes there are. So there's 1 point early in the film with the dashboard foot shot, then the bedroom foot shot near a poster, then of course we got the raining foot shot, which actually kind of goes hard, then again the car crash sequence with the foot hanging out the car window shot, and finally the freaky tongue lick on the toe by Stuntman Mike, to end off with a total of 5 foot points for just Death Proof alone. Just wait till we get to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You're gonna want to have a damn seizure. Next movie, we got Kill Bill Volume 2. The first one is a masterpiece, so of course this one's gonna be a letdown when it's just a good movie. The 1-inch punch to get out of being buried alive was a little unrealistic to me, even when I was a kid watching this. But still, I'd be lying if I said my ass didn't try to get really good at doing the 1-inch punch when I was a kid. Still, this movie does introduce us to that mentally unstable karate instructor who is literally just a character taken straight out of Cobra Kai, which I absolutely love. But then again, I've already been talking about this damn movie for way too long, so let's go over the feet shots. We got 1 point with the flashback marriage sequence. Then we got multiple shots when Beatrix and the eye patch lady are fighting, but I'm only gonna count 1 for the eye smush foot shot. And finally, 1 more when Beatrix is in a waiting room, with a total of just 3 foot points. Truly just rookie numbers. Come on, Quentin, I know you can do better. Next, we got The Hateful Eight. Now, I haven't watched this movie since it came out in 2015, but what I remember is, it's the longest Quentin Tarantino movie with the theatrical cut of being 2 hours and 47 minutes, and that's just the damn theatrical cut. The extended cut was so long that even Netflix made a version split up into multiple episodes, totaling around 210 minutes, making it well over 3 hours long. But this also gave me The Thing vibes. It literally has Kurt Russell in it, and everyone's trying to figure out who the imposter is, so it's pretty much just a 3-hour-long Among Us game. It has Kurt Russell destroying that ancient museum guitar, which I remember being a big deal, and obviously by the end of it, there's gonna be a massive Quentin Tarantino bloodbath, with Samuel L. Jackson getting his balls blown off, and then Channing Tatum randomly getting squeezed in there somewhere. Honestly, I don't want to talk about this movie anymore because there's obviously no feet in it. Because it takes place in one location in the freezing cold, so no one takes off their damn boots. Next. Y'all be sleeping on this damn movie. I hate how much hate this one gets because Samuel L. Jackson gets so overlooked as a top-tier villain in this, just because it's easily one of the least beloved Quentin Tarantino films. He is truly ruthless in this film. He had one of the scariest haircuts I've ever seen, and he couldn't help but to spit out lines of gold in every scene like,
"My ass may be dumb, but I ain't no dumbass."
This movie also has a ton of fun Tarantino tropes like, there are random actors in this that have no business being in it. Like there's a Michael Keaton and Chris Tucker jump scare in this. People sit in chairs any way other than normally sitting in them. There are some of the craziest, most unexpected movie deaths caused by the most unjustified crash outs in this.
Don't seem sure to me.
Hey, don't say anything else, okay? Keep your mouth shut.
Well,
I mean, don't say one fucking word, okay?
okay, Lewis.
And finally, of course, there's gonna be at least 5 different foot shots of women's feet in this. So let's rip into another feet counter again. I'm convinced bro just cast Melanie in this only so he could do those 2 close-up feet shots early in the film. And then there's one more in the climax in the dressing room, which barely counts as one, but I feel like I have to count it because you know he did that angle on purpose. Now, every movie from here on out are all fantastic films and are all 4.5 out of 5s or higher. Reservoir Dogs is probably one of the best director debuts of all time. Quentin Tarantino also pretty much invented that cool gangster everyone wears the same suit and all don't know each other GTA movie vibe for this, so it's peak. It's also got the iconic Steve Buscemi, aka Mr. Pink, who doesn't like the tip scene.
You know what this is? It's the world's smallest violin playing just for the waitresses.
This is a hard job.
So is working at McDonald's, but you don't feel the need to tip them, do you? But no, society says, don't tip these guys over here, but tip these guys over here. That's bullshit.
The iconic dancing scene, and finally that ending scene, which is one of the best who shot first scenes in cinematic history.
Stop pointing that fucking gun at my dad!
The first time I watched this scene, I rewinded it a billion times to try to figure out who shot first, and my ass still doesn't know. But sadly, this one has pretty much no women in it, so sorry, no feet counter. Now, I know you're hungry, feet counter, but Quentin was a good boy and made sure to lay low on his debut. Oh boy, I sure hope the next movie doesn't ruin the good boy streak Quentin has been on. Yep, never mind. This one literally has a car called the Pussy Wagon in it, so of course it's gonna be filled with feet shots. So let's start with that. Obviously, Beatrix has an entire scene of her trying to move her foot, so let's break this shit down. There's one close-up when she's in that wheelchair. I'm gonna count 3 when she's wiggling her damn toes because dedicating an entire scene to this is diabolical. And then one more for someone pedaling their foot on a car pedal, bringing Kill Bill to a total of just 4 feet points. Now, I do think the movie itself is a masterpiece, and every movie from here on out are 5 out of 5s. I don't care, they're all so peak, they're all 5 out of 5s. And as you know, I just love talking about the best parts of each movie, and I'm obviously working backwards like Quentin Tarantino for some reason. So let's start reverse chronological order for this movie. This movie obviously has got the iconic 20-minute tracksuit samurai sword fight scene, which has a cartoonish amount of blood, and I love it. It's got the iconic walk that a billion other movies have copied. What? And finally, it's got that amazing opening scene where Beatrix fights the Black Mamba. This scene truly makes you realize what movie you're getting into, and it's so peak. Next up, we got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Trust me when I say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was so close to being in the top 3. I also think this one gets overhated for no reason. It is easily a 5 out of 5 and one of Quentin Tarantino's best. Like every Quentin Tarantino movie, it develops super interesting characters that are simple, but you don't mind seeing what they're gonna be up to for the next 2.5 hours. Truly one of the best, let's just go follow around these characters movies of all time. The 3 best things about this movie are obviously the generational pointing at the screen meme this movie created.
Whoop. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
The Leonardo DiCaprio generational crash out.
What was that? Jesus Christ! Fuck! Fucking lines, embarrass yourself like that in front of all those goddamn people. You're sitting there like a fucking baboon. Stop drinking right now. Make a promise to yourself you're gonna stop fucking drinking.
And obviously the DEFCON 5 amount of feet Quentin Tarantino tries to sneak into this damn movie. So let's break this impossible amount of footage down. First, we have the lingering shot of just Margot Robbie's feet in her bed. I'm gonna count 3 for the entire scene of Margot Robbie watching herself in theaters with her dirty dogs hanging up on the damn theater chairs because I remember this scene going on for way too long. I'm gonna count 2 for Margaret Qualley's hippie grippers on Brad Pitt's dashboard because they were literally all over the place in this scene. Then we got Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece shot where he sneaks 3 sets of feet in a single frame. Then finally ended off with Dakota Fanning's inclined dirty hippie grippers all in your face dog shot. And I know I said only women count on this list, but truly no one is safe. Because we even got close-up shots of Leonardo's toes when he was chilling in his damn pool. So screw it, I'm gonna count that one too. Ending Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with a whopping 10 feet points. And I probably even missed some. There's probably 5 more in there that I just couldn't find. In the 3rd spot, we got Django Unchained. The thing about Django is it feels like it's divided into 2 parts, which I love. It starts with Django just learning how to become a bounty hunter with Dr. Schultz for damn near an entire movie runtime. My favorite part from the technical first part is definitely the clan mask scene.
Nobody's saying they don't appreciate what Jenny did.
Well, if all I had to do was cut a hole in a bag, I could have cut it better than this.
What about you, Robert?
Can you see? Not too good.
And then for the last hour and a half, we're in Candyland, which is also peak. My favorite part from Candyland is easily the, did you know that Leonardo actually cut his hand when he smashed the skull part? And obviously the best use of blood in any film ever, with each one of Django's bullets just exploding people like a bazooka. And I love when Django says, say goodbye, Miss Laura, and then she cartoonly flies off the screen. This movie also has no feet shots that fall into my set of rules, but it does have Quentin Tarantino casting himself to be an Australian racist slave owner where he says bad words, but we will come back to that later. Now, I think these two are definitely Quentin Tarantino's best movies. And I know I already said since Kill Bill, everything has been a 5 out of 5, but these are just top tier and above the already 5 out of 5 Quentin Tarantino movies. If I had the option to give these a 10 out of 5, I would give it to them. That being said, in the second spot, give me Inglourious Bastards. This movie has one of the best characters ever written, but also one of the trickiest characters to ever be cast. I'm obviously talking about Hans Landa. Quentin Tarantino even said in multiple interviews that he auditioned hundreds of actors to become the character, but nobody nailed the requirements to become the unique character until the godsend Christopher Waltz came into Quentin Tarantino's life. Quentin said Waltz didn't just play Landa, he gave my movie back. So you know it's special if bro literally won Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars with this golden role. Now, besides that absolute glaze towards one of the best characters ever written, this movie has two amazing tension building scenes that go on for damn near 20 minutes each. Obviously the opening scene where the farmer just gets absolutely blindsided by Landa. Like, just look at his face, he knows he's cooked.
You're sheltering them underneath your floorboards, aren't you? Yes.
And I also absolutely love the music this scene plays when the reveal happens. And of course, the three-finger scene, which goes on for 25 minutes and ends in a complete Tarantino bloodbath.
Now, about this pickle we find ourselves in, it would appear there's only one thing left for you to do.
And what would that be?
ChazClipz.
Say auf Wiedersehen to your Nazi boss.
And finally, shout out to the funny Buongiorno Brad Pitt scene. Like, come on, y'all know my ass needed to show this clip.
Hervorragende Sensationsdarsteller Enzo Gorlami.
Gorlami. Mi scusi, con me? Gorlami.
Ancora una volta.
Gorlami.
Showing you guys all those clips made me almost forget that we need to break down the damn feet counter, which are all pretty much just shots of Bridget Vaughn after she broke her foot. Like when she meets Hans Landa again, then when Hans is taking off her heel, and I'm gonna count another point when he puts a new shoe on for her, and finally I could count more than one, but I'm just gonna count one when she's getting strangled by Hans, with a total of 4 feet points for Inglourious Bastards. Now, before the number one spot, we obviously gotta do a bonus round of every time Quentin Tarantino has casted himself in his own movie to say bad words or do something freaky not just behind the camera. Like when Quentin Tarantino casted himself as Jimmy Dimmick in Pulp Fiction and then said the N-word 4 different times within just 90 seconds.
But you know what's on my mind right now? It ain't the coffee in my kitchen. It's the dead nigger in my garage. Did you notice a sign on the front of my house that said dead nigger storage? Did you notice a sign in the front of my house that said dead nigger storage? Cause it ain't there, cause storing dead niggers ain't my fucking business, that's why.
Then when Quentin Tarantino casted himself as Franklin the Australian in Django Unchained and said the N-word twice. And finally, to top it all off, when bro wrote himself in and casted himself as Richie Gecko in Dusk Till Dawn, knowing that he will eventually need to suck alcohol off Salma Hayek's feet, which is diabolical, and I would have added 1 billion foot points for that, but to stay loyal to the foot points, that's just gonna be one gigantic foot point. Now, before the number one spot, if you like movies, and of course, if you somehow haven't gotten scared off by the foot counter yet, please drop a like and follow. Help me get the 1K for the love of God, we are so close. And also comment your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie as well. Now, all that being said, easily in today's number one spot, we just got Pulp Fiction. I know it's a basic pick, but it's just the best. Everything just flows so well. I absolutely love its non-linear storytelling and seeing characters we've already fallen in love with at different parts of their story while we're at different points of views of other characters is just so peak. This movie also has a few of the best F-bombs ever used on screen, with obviously the Samuel L. Jackson F-bomb.
What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what? What? English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yes!
And a sleeper pick with Marcellus Wallace's F-bomb.
It's good to see you. I must go. I know I'm a good run. Anyway, my eyes are not accustomed.
I could probably talk about this movie for hours, but let's just go over the damn feet counter and call it a day. We got Mia Wallace walking around her house barefoot. I absolutely love the Chuck Berry dancing scene, but of course Mia's gotta be dancing barefoot. And a quick little one where Esmeralda is driving barefoot in a taxi cab with Butch. And that totals us to a feet counter with a whopping 35 total feet points, which is at the end of the day an amount of feet shots snuck into a movie that you just gotta respect. And overall, the feet counter, although it's freaky, was just something I wanted to come up with because I love making counters for my videos. Although it is a really weird fetish, come on, it's Quentin Tarantino, the king of creating masterpiece after masterpiece, so bro can truly just do whatever he wants. And you obviously notice with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he did not want to go out without a fight, because bro snuck in a whopping 9 total feet shots in one movie alone. End of discussion.